Ahoy, everybody! You can call me Captain, and I welcome you on board of IP Hobby Studio, a vessel for your hobby journey. In today's video, I would like to show you how to paint Herald, one of the main characters from the Dark Souls board game. First, the figure needs to be primed. I will use black primer from the Vallejo, but you can use any other brand, it will be fine. I will use an airbrush. You can simply paint using a regular brush or a spray can, as there are plenty of different sprays available on the market today. The goal is to create a zenithal highlight, which can be done by spraying white from above, or you can even just dry brush the figure. The effect will be slightly different, like with the slop chop technique. For the white, I chose Tamiya paint and I'm thinning it with their own thinner. And you have to mix it really well. This is how the miniature looks after priming. So, hoist the sails and enjoy the voyage, mates, and I will prepare my wet palette, brushes and paints. At the end of this video, I'll share a little life hack with you, a life hack you can apply to painting any miniatures. Well then, let's get started. On all the leather parts, I will apply the base layer with contrast paint Siger Brown. While applying contrast paints on the flat surfaces, you have to do it with one continuous motion, and this way the color will be more even. And don't forget to paint it from the bottom. Let's continue with the shoulders and boots afterwards. I also painted the collar with the same color. Now let's move on to the pants and the sleeves of the shirt. For that we will be using the Black Legion. And this leather belt has to be painted with Tiger Brown as well. I will use wildwood for all the wooden parts. Here I use a little bit of Gracier primer to fix mistakes we did in previous steps. To paint the cloak, I mixed Dark Angel's green with Lamian medium in 1:1 ratio and applied 2 coats. I covered all the skin parts with Fire Slayer flesh. Now the first coat of Dark Angel's green mix is dried, so we move on to the second coat. Like this, we will get very deep and dark green color. When the cloak is complete, I take Wordbearer's red layer color and cover the belt. And also small detail on the spear. When all that complete, I take Iron Warriors for all the metal parts. Retributor armor for the necklace and buttons. I take Null oil for all the steel parts. Breakland flash shade to shade the gold and the belt. Breakland flash shade on top of the gold makes gold really warm and rich. The rim of the shield got covered with green color, so I am going to fix that using bold titanium white by Pro Acryl. Little bit of Gracier primer for the darker parts. I haven't painted the shield yet, because I couldn't figure out what it should look like. But in the end I decided it will be the same color as the cloak. Liquid mask from Green Stuff World to cover the areas where I don't want the airbrush paint to get. I would recommend using an old brush for this, as it will likely become unusable afterwards. This stuff dries very fast, and once the dried bits get between the bristles, they're nearly impossible to remove. You need to apply a thick layer, because a thin one is very difficult to remove later. When application of liquid mask is completed, I take airbrush, Dark Angels green paint, and start spraying. Using tweezers, carefully remove the dried film, trying not to damage the miniature. It comes off very easily and without any problems. It's a very satisfying activity. After touching up the small dot that the airbrush missed, I move on to the first highlights of the green color. For this, I am using Pro Acryl Green, highly diluted with water. You can see the consistency on my hand. I am applying highlights mostly with the side of my brush. In my humble opinion, the cloak is the most difficult part of this miniature. Using glazes, I softened the transitions. A glaze, it's a very diluted paint, and I even make glazes from contrast paints. If we take Dark Angel's green glaze and apply it in between of the green and Dark Angel's green color, it will darken the bright green and make the transition smoother. I am going to take Toxic Mist and mix it roughly 50-50 with green for the extreme highlight. This seemed way too bright for me, so I apply a glaze to darken it down a little bit. I am going to be using leather brown to highlight all the leather parts. I am making glaze from Siger Brown to smoother the transition, so I just apply it on top of the previous highlights. This is how the figure looks after all that steps. Let's take Dawnstone diluted with water and use it for highlighting the black pants and sleeves of the shirt. I just try to follow the lines. The red belt and ribbon on the spear will be highlighted using Wild Rider Red. This is the same Word Beer's red that I am using to correct mistakes right now. Now let's move to the armor. For this, I will refresh the base color with Iron Warriors. For highlighting the steel parts, a Runefang steel color will be used. Don't forget to also highlight the dagger's scabbard. Here's a life hack I wanted to share with you. Take a black color and a thin brush and draw thin black lines between all the details of the figure, as if dividing them into small sections. Now the figure looks more three-dimensional, sharper, and clearer. It is very noticeable when I do black lining on the spear. Just look here. We perfectly understand that the spear is three-dimensional, but it doesn't stand out that much. However, the moment you draw this thin line, it instantly becomes round. It's just some kind of magic. The main thing is that the lines should be thin, not thick. Thick lines will just stand out as black, and that's it, but thin ones create this sense of volume. Gold is going to be highlighted using Retributor Armor and Auric Armor Gold. The final touch is to paint the face. For this, I will use colors such as Tan Flash by Pro Acryl and Basic Skin Tone by Vallejo. I highlight the cheekbones, nose and lower lip. Using glaze from Tan Flash, I soften the transition. And a little highlight on the fingers. To add a bit of interest to the shield, I'll apply a transfer. How to apply transfers so they don't look artificial, but rather like they were painted on. I will explain that in one of my next videos. Here is what I got. I think it looks amazing. All that's left is to do the basing, and that's it. Texture paste, some small rocks, a bit of dry brushing, a touch of tufts and autumn leaves, and it's all done. Off camera, I did end up painting his eyes, sorry about that, but that's a whole topic for another video. And this is the final result. Thank you for watching until the end, I hope you enjoyed it. Don't forget to subscribe to the channel and leave a like or comment, it really helps with the channel's growth. A new video is coming soon, which means another journey awaits you aboard IP Hobby Studio, the vessel for your hobby journey. Best wishes to you all, take care and see you soon.